Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in our all hands meeting. What we're going to try to do is give you an update on everything that's happening in relationship to the Sea Cadet Corps and to the Dempster division specifically. We have a couple slides to go through, but the majority of our talk today is going to be about our annual training. So Lieutenant J.G. Murray is going to walk through the process so that everybody's comfortable with it. And then we'll give some additional updates along the way. So that being said, why don't we get started? Okay, so some updates. This may look familiar to you from the last time we had our all hands meeting, but I just want to go through a couple things right off the bat. First of all, we are still working under that social distancing mandate through national headquarters and through state and federal governments. So we're making sure that we're doing that. And because of that, and because they keep extending the periods of lockdown across a variety of different states, the Sea Cadet Corps is continuing to extend the lockdown to our activities. We'll get into specific dates in a few moments. So we are still doing that, sadly, but again, cadet safety is our #1 priority. We have to make sure that everybody's in good shape, so therefore we're following those rules, okay? The other thing is important, and we did discuss it last time, but it's worth having this conversation again. The program is not shut down, right? It is not shut down at all. There are virtual drill opportunities which happen all the time. In particular, I run one for the Sea Cadet Corps twice a week, and I just completed one a few moments ago. So we'll get into that in a few moments. But there are engagement opportunities which are happening right now. So if you are wondering, hey, I'm not doing anything with the Sea Cadet Corps, I'm not participating, I'm not involved, it's because either information is not being sent to you, so please ask, reach out to your chain, reach out to your squad leaders, assistant squad leaders, go up to the officer corps if you need to find out what is happening, because there's plenty of things happening right now. Don't sit back and not get involved, right? And from the last meeting we had, we didn't know what was going to happen with summer trainings. We do know now. Lieutenant J.G. Murray, again, will be discussing that. So, Sea Cadet drills. From national headquarters, and we follow the rules from our headquarters on down, is our drills are still suspended until June 15th. So we are not, sadly, going to be together for the remainder of this term. Unfortunately, that's the scenario that we live in, and we have to subscribe to that. So therefore, that puts some interesting dynamics, in particular, when we're talking about cadet graduations and things like that. Fear not, there is a plan. I know the plan, it's a good one. And we'll do something. So for those who are graduating this year, you won't be left out. But sadly, we're not going to be able to be together in order to do that like we've done for the 60 plus years of the Dempster division. Not all of us, of course, but that's the legacy of the division, right? National headquarters has also said that there is not going to be any overnight trainings until August 31st. So basically that's all summer, right? Overnight trainings is when you would go somewhere, clearly stay, for multiple days all the time. And that's not happening as well. Again, both of these things are in relationship to social distancing. But there are plans, and we'll talk about them in a few moments. Our access to the Lawrenceville Armory is still suspended, or more specifically restricted. So all the stuff that we had in there is still in there, still under lock and key, no problem. But we can get to it, and this is only for the officers, right? So if there's something 100% necessary, we can make arrangements to retrieve it, but I would prefer not to. So let's just might as well think about the fact that we just don't access the Lawrenceville Armory until we're given the green light. If things are progressing to plan, hopefully they are. When we re-engage the program live doing drills in September, like we standard do, then we'll be back there. That could change, of course. Hopefully it won't, but that's where we stand. All right, changing gears, annual inspection. So when we talked last time, right, when we first did our quarantine period, was just before we were about to have our personnel inspection for the annual inspection. Clearly we didn't do that, and it wasn't required this year, and it wasn't required by anybody in the Sea Cadet Corps. right? But I have got some preliminary results back, and I want to share them, what I know, with everybody, so you get a sense of accomplishment and pride. So as we have done for the past few years, we have gotten yet another 100% on our admin tasks. So what does that mean? That means that our admin officer and all the parents that support and all of you cadets who respond to paperwork and getting things done on time, all those things in our training jackets, they all were done through the audit, 100% complete. So maybe paperwork isn't your favorite thing, but it's a way to track how we are doing and the information is required. So another 100% for that, well done. 100% on all the cadet training and correspondence courses. So for the cadets, this is something that you have direct impact to, right? So that you are indeed doing your correspondence courses, right? And it's tracked because for the program, they want to make sure that everybody is doing all the work possible in order to be engaged with the program and to make all the prerequisites in relationship to rank advancement. So everybody did a good job with that. As far as training, everybody went to all the training exercises that they needed to for the year. So again, good job. So where are we taking a hit? We're taking a hit on something that is very hard for us to control. And sadly, this is something which is highly factored into the results scores. And that has to do with recruiting and retention. So recruiting, we had a big challenge this year from recruiting is that if you remember last year, we had approximately 17 C cadets graduate from our program. In order for us to retain our same recruiting, we would have had to put 17 additional C cadets from September to December, not lead cadets, 17 C cadets, brand new, joining in that window. That is almost an impossible ask. That's about a third or so of our division. So therefore, our recruiting numbers, although we gained a lot of great new members, and I'm so glad that you're on board, we didn't hit the numbers that national headquarters wanted us to have. The other thing has to do with retention. Retention is if someone is involved with the program, are they staying with the program? So that's a key indicator for national headquarters too, because if we're running a good program and we're providing a good service in relationship to what our members need, they would naturally want to stay, unless of course there are some mitigating circumstances. So as far as retention, we did lose a few very key slots, and that's okay. I mean, we are a leadership and development program. We're not a cult. If you wanted to leave, absolutely you can leave for whatever reason you want to at any time. But at the same time, you're actually missing out on the benefits of continuing to be with the program. And those benefits are pretty impressive based upon what our graduates have been able to have opportunities provided to them. It would be great to say they have been able to achieve what they're achieving right now from schools or appointments or job opportunities only because they were a C cadet. No, it's just part of the total package. Regardless, retaining our people is very important because it's very important to them. And those two items, recruiting and retention, did hurt us a little bit this year, okay? What that means as far as our final score, I do not know, okay? So when we talked last time, and this was the guidance last time, is that they were not doing any unit ranking. Just like last year, we were number 3 in the nation, something again to be very proud of. Initially, they said that they weren't going to do any ranking, it was just a pass or fail. But national headquarters changed their mind, which they do frequently, and they've decided to rank the units. So based upon recruiting and retention, and the fact that we always do exceptionally well in personnel inspections, and that was taken away from us because of the pandemic, I don't know where we're going to end up this year. But regardless of where we end up as far as position, ranking, or whatever, you should still have a tremendous amount of pride in what we do here, okay? So we don't do what we do in our program in order to get a score in an inspection. We do what we do in order to enrich your lives. And if we're doing that, a personnel score inspection or an annual inspection score doesn't really matter all that much. It's a matter of you're getting something out of the program. So when the annual inspection results come out, I'll publish them right away, and they are what they are. Either we're doing great, or maybe we didn't do as well as we did last year. Regardless of that, take a lot of pride in the Dempster division, because as far as I am concerned, we are indeed the #1 division in the country. Nobody can tell me anything different, because I won't listen. So, enrichment opportunities, virtual drills. I just got done hosting another episode of Real Sailors, Real Sea Stories about an hour ago. So kind of talked out, but that's okay. If you haven't been participating in this, you really should, okay? Because if you're interested in service in the Navy or any other branch of the military, this is absolutely a fantastic opportunity for you to learn what people and what sailors are like and what jobs do they do in the fleet. So you may take the BMR, right? You may take the PO1s, different correspondence courses, 2s and 3s and Siemens and all that stuff. That's just textbook, right? It's very important for you to really round out your education to get a good understanding of what jobs are being done out in the fleet, and most importantly, who's doing that and the pride that they have in doing that. So this is an educational program. This is not a recruiting effort, although it's run by Navy Recruiting in Philadelphia with our support, right? It's really an educational opportunity for you to learn what life is really like for these real sailors out in the fleet. There's also an online quiz that goes along with this, right? So we make that available to everybody. And if you take the quiz, right, do your best, right? They're not trick questions. If you can't find them, look it up on the internet. I make up the quiz. It's really easy because I make it up. I'm not making up anything difficult. Do your best in relationship to that. Once you get the results, follow the instructions. The instructions is send your results to our admin officer, right? And she'll make sure that your 2 hours of virtual drill credit ends up being in your record in Magellan. So what does that mean? Why does that help us out? In order for us to help evaluate your engagement with our program, particularly in this limited touch point period that we're in, right? We want to be able to see who's engaged and who's not engaged. And those who are actually engaged are the people that are like, okay, maybe this person's better suited for a leadership position, right? Maybe this person is better suited for some other opportunity. So look at it in regards to, am I still working the program? Although the program is very different than the one that I signed up for, right? So, make sure that if you have the opportunity, either see it live or see the rebroadcast, take the quiz, and then get the credit for it. It's right out there for you, and it keeps you engaged with the program with all the other things that you have going on. So not just because I run it, but I do highly recommend it, and it is very well received by the entire Sea Cadet Corps. We get a lot of praise about it all the time. So be part of it. Don't let this pass you by. And it's every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's going to run until June. So be part of it. Okay, so at this point in time, I want to pass the presentation off to Lieutenant J.G. Murray, where she can get into the summer training activities and get you all set up. So Lieutenant Murray, go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, CO. I will try to do the best I can to keep it as quick as I can, but I want to make sure that you guys get all the information you need during our Zoom call right now. So with that said, before I get into this first slide, wanted to let everybody know that I sent out maybe 2 weeks ago a instruction packet, a summer training instruction packet. As you know, all the trainings are virtual for now, for the summer, except for the exception of the recruit training, which I will get into in a little bit more detail. So I sent out the summer instructions packet. If you did not, and I sent it to all the cadets and the parents, so if you did not receive that instruction packet, you may send me an email and I will resend it to you. But it has all the details in there as to basically what's involved, how to view the trainings, how to submit your request to register for the trainings. All of that information is in there. With that said, both the CO and I last week attended a Zoom webinar with National Headquarters in regards to summer trainings. So there is some additional information that is not on their website or in their FAQs on their website. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly here in this slide. One being the first round of registration has already begun. The registration actually ends on May 14th. The trainings, again, they're all virtual. This first round, I'll call it, is run from May 15th through June 30th. It sounds like a long training, but again, it's very different, the structure. It is a virtual training. So based off of the webinar, and CO, please feel free if I have some of this information incorrect, but it sounds like the training, again, being virtual, they may end up spending, what they had said is no longer than 2 hours at a time online, because they didn't want their cadets sitting down at a computer 8 to 10 hours a day. Because as you know, again, not typical for the Sea Cadet Corps, because we like to do more hands-on training, but with what's going on now, everything is done virtually. So again, this first round of registration ends May 14th to be able to register. I would like to tell you, if you haven't looked at any of the trainings and you're interested in doing a round that's May 15th through June 30th, then please, I will need your request by tomorrow. If you don't make it for the first round, the second registration will begin June 1st. So you won't see anything listed in Homeport on the training section until June 1st. And then their second round of trainings will be listed. They will be the same trainings that you see now on their website. So those same trainings will occur. It's just the second session begins June 1st. Those trainings will run from June 15th through August 31st. In regards to the trainings as well, there is the requirement to attend at least one training, just as we do each year. It is for twofold. A, as you know, the CO just mentioned that it counts towards our annual inspection. And obviously the second reason is you need to attend a summer training so you can rank up too as well. So definitely take a look at the trainings for the cadets and make sure that you register for one training this summer. The good news is that for the Sea Cadets, in regards to your requirements and prerequisites, for Sea Cadets, the minimum rank to attend an advanced training is Seaman Apprentice training. So everybody, minus there are actually just 2 cadets who are seaman recruits right now. And those 2 cadets, all they need to do is the PRT. And then I think the other cadet, I don't want to call out your names, but the other cadet has the coursework to do. You guys will be able to take, those 2 cadets will be able to take these courses, these advanced training courses that are online. Also for the lead cadets, the minimum rank is apprentice, and you just need to take the syllabus part 1. So if you have done that, you will also be able to take these online advanced virtual training classes too as well. The prerequisite for everyone, sorry. Okay. The prerequisite for everyone is the online digital wellness and safety course that is required. There was an email I did send out too in regards to specific directions on how to register for this course. It takes about 2 to 3 hours. And then there's also directions that talk about how to print out the certificate. So currently, I think we have 7 cadets who have already registered for the first round. And those cadets have also completed that wellness and safety course too as well.
Lieutenant Murray, when a cadet takes this online digital wellness safety course and they get their certificate, what are they supposed to do with that certificate?
Sure. So once you have received the certificate and you have downloaded it and saved it on your computer, you need to email it directly to me. Once I have your certificate, I will upload it to Magellan, to the course that you have selected. So this way your course will then be approved. So as soon as you're done taking that class, the course, and you have your certificate, email it to me right away. Even if you haven't registered for a class yet, just email it to me right away. So I have it, I'm keeping it in my computer. So this way when I register you for your class, I can upload that document immediately. Okay. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and select, let's see, I'm going to go through the two. Do I have access? Are they going to be able to see my screen, CO? Or do I need to click this share screen here so I share it?
Share screen.
You got it. Just making sure I don't want to mess anything up. Okay.
I don't know if I have to stop sharing and you take it.
Yeah, it says you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. Okay.
All right, go for it.
Let's try it again. Okay.
Did you see the question? Graduating seniors, they're not required to take a summer training, correct?
Correct. Graduating seniors do not need to take summer training.
Okay, that was a question that came in from Marquardt, I believe.
Oh, somebody's good monitoring the questions. Thank you very much. Yes, that is correct. So the first place you'll want to go to is the Google sites that they have listed. It's the very first link that I have on this presentation. And you'll want to take a look at this site. I just want to make a note because I know for most cadets, you go through Homeport. And when you go through Homeport, let me just minimize this, there we go. When you go through Homeport, oh, you know what? I can't get to the links to the right of my screen. Oh, there we go. Nope. Oh, here we go. They just showed up a little late. And I click on details. Okay, and view all training events. So the other, oh, having technical difficulties. Well, when you get to that link, it will take you to this Google Sites. This is the new site that National Headquarters has put together in regards to the virtual trainings. And I just want to go through this real quick, especially for cadets and parents who may be online who have not seen this page as of yet. So they have the home screen here. If you scroll down, it will show you every single course that is available. Again, these will be available for the first round. As you can see, registration is open but closes May 14th. But again, these will appear in Homeport starting on June 1st for round number 2, which is June 15th through August 31st. So I'm going to just open one of these so you can take a look. And I'll open up the cybersecurity. It is really a full curriculum that gives you a really good opportunity to take a look at what is available and what you will learn before you even sign up for the virtual class. So it gives you the course description, the training demographic, the topics that are included, and really all the details of exactly what will occur during the virtual training. So I won't go through all of it here, but you know, some of these are at least 8 to 10 pages long. So you really take a look at each one and find out which one interests you to be able to take. Let's see, if I scroll, nope, it's on the next page. So the next one, which is important, is the cadets and parents section. So you'll definitely want to take a look through here, and please read through all of the general information. The computer requirements, which is also important to make sure with whatever PC that you have, you have what you need to be able to take the virtual course. And then the FAQs. The FAQs is really going to answer a lot of your questions that you will have. So please read through this in its entirety. And then if you continue to have questions, please go ahead and you're more than welcome to shoot me an email at any time. And I will either answer your question or obtain it if I'm not sure what it is.
So,
Also, yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
another item of note, I don't know if you're going to do this and I'm stealing your thunder, so I apologize, but if you look under fee, right, many of these courses cost you nothing.
Correct.
Unlike our regular annual trainings where other than transportation, there's enrollment fees, right? Many of these are zero cost to you, right? Speaking from personal experience, the second one here for aviation ground school, $100 for aviation ground school is significantly less expensive than somewhere around $2,500 if you would take it in the civilian world, and it's the same course. So these are good classes. Just because we're doing it this way, don't think that you're being cheated in any way, shape, or form in regards to content. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, nope, I agree. Thank you very much. And the officers, please feel free to interject as I go through this. Absolutely, I appreciate that.
I was just going to say that if they feel left out with the physical aspect, we can always call them at 5 in the morning and get them up for PT.
There you go.
So just let us know.
So as I scroll down here, you can see all of the classes that are available. Again, these same classes, I just want to point out again, these same classes will be available from what National Headquarters had told us during our Zoom conference call. All of them will be available again June 1st. So don't panic if you feel like you have to go online tonight and pick a class. Again, they will be available on June 1st. With training again starting June 15th through August 31st. If I scroll over, this gives you the dates. Some of them are 45 days and some of them are 30 days. Okay? It depends upon the training. Okay? So this is a great little feature right here to quickly take a look as to what is available to you as well. And then the last piece for when you, and this has just come up, is the last piece is the fee payment. So this is now available. So if there is a cost to one of the trainings that you have selected, please go ahead and select on fee payment here. And then from here, you go ahead and select what training you're taking. And then it is done through PayPal. And then you just select buy now, and then go ahead and run through that process. Just make sure there should be a comment section that you put your cadet's first and last name, or cadet, you put your first and last name if you're taking care of the payment, just so they know who it's going to. Obviously in the credit card information, you're putting first and last name, but in the comment section, definitely put the cadet's first and last name so they know who to assign that payment to.
Lieutenant Murray, if backing up a little bit for fee payment, are these the ones that cost money or are these all of them?
No, these are the ones that cost money. So only the ones that are assigned under this section here, right? You can take a quick glance like we looked before. Anything that's $100, that's where you would go ahead to fee payments and pay the fee. Okay. And then the last piece is for those cadets that are eligible to be a staff cadet. Now, CO, you may want to talk a little bit more in regards to this. I mean, the definition of staff cadet here is much different than obviously being at a actual training, in-person training. They're more geared towards proctors. CO, is that the right word to use?
Right, or say TAs or teaching assistants.
Right.
So it's not the staff cadet experience that you would normally have, right? But it is, you know, you're working with the instructors to make sure that everything's running well. Also, at the same time, you're looking after the cadets who are taking the courses to make sure that they have questions, or if they're lagging behind or whatever, just to keep them on track and motivated. So it is a little bit different, but it is indeed a leadership role. So don't let it minimize you because it's in this format.
Absolutely, thank you. So that is just a kind of a brief overview of the website, again, that they have listed here for the virtual trainings. Again, FAQs, very important. Definitely look through and read through all those FAQs. It'll answer a lot of your questions. The other way to review the trainings also is by going to Homeport under training, and all of the trainings are listed here. Right now, again, if you scroll down, it's all virtual online. Soon, coming soon, is the recruit training as well as POLA. So both of those trainings should be coming soon. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to go over right now. Like I said, the instructions that I sent out tells you exactly what to do with, what to email me with. And then maybe I'll go over this just real quick. So once you find a training, you will email me the course title, the code. So the code is right here, right? Let's say you're wanting to do LK-CA 2002V, you'll email me that code. Very important to email me the code because I want to make sure, as you can tell here, the description here, at least in Homeport, is very generic. You have to go into the actual training itself to see what the actual name of the training is. So sending me this code saves me a lot of time. So definitely make sure you send me the code. Once you do that, I will go ahead and register you for the training, and I will email back to you the summer training instructions manual again, the instructions on how to register for the online safety and wellness course, as well as the NSCT NG 001. It's the basically the administrative document that needs to be completed. That is really the only form that needs to be filled out. The cadet/parent will need to read through an initial, and then the parent will need to go ahead and sign that document. Once that document is signed, please scan the document and send it back to me. If especially for the parents who are signing these documents, if you're able to and you have a electronic signature that you can copy and paste into the document and just send back to me, that's even better, because then I can then put my signature and copy and paste it. And once I've copied and pasted that document, then I can just upload it right away without printing it, rescanning it, and then sending it. So it's definitely a little bit easier to do it that way. If you're not able to and you need to print, sign the document and scan it and email it back to me, that's fine too.
Tracy, I'm sorry, Lieutenant Murray,
Yes.
We do have a question here. It says the website saying that you cannot bank more than one virtual training. So if a cadet takes an advanced training now, can they still do a POLA later when it comes out?
Yes, so my understanding from the webinar that the CO and I attended is that you can attend as many trainings as you want. That's how the person who was speaking had said it. So you can attend multiple trainings. Ideally, obviously, these trainings are 30 to 45 days long. You don't want to be in 3 trainings, 4 trainings. So he said ideally 1 to 2 trainings is fine. So you can take 2 trainings. You can do an advanced training, and then you can do POLA, but 1 training will count towards your advancement. So in that case, if you're going to do an advanced training and a POLA, we're going to want the POLA to count because that will help you to then advance to your next petty officer level.
Okay, so I would add something in addition to that. And what it is POLA one of these trainings which is available right now? No.
So correct.
Right?
Yep.
It's not there, right? Okay. So in order to be advanced, right, in order to stay with the program, every cadet has to do 1 training. Now, it'd be great if that 1 training was indeed POLA and you'd be done. But we don't know when POLA is going to happen, but you need POLA for a particular rank and above. So if I was to play this right, I would take one of these advanced trainings because that satisfies your training requirement. And then when POLA comes up, also take POLA, okay? So I would plan on taking both because since POLA isn't listed here, and say, for example, it's not there, okay, for some reason they don't turn around and get it in place, then you're completely out of a training for a year. So do an advanced training, and then when POLA shows up, do POLA then. By the time POLA shows up, we may be back in business. It could be because we've done many POLA sessions, right, over the winter time period, okay? So that could be another in-person training because things are back up to normal. So, you know, take the advanced training now, wait for the POLA, and also do the POLA. It won't hurt you.
All right, so I'm going to stop my share, and then if you want to go ahead and share CO and bring back up the presentation.
Okay, there you go.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so the next piece that I want to talk about, and we just talked about POLA, is also recruit training. So again, if you're looking to, and we have quite a few cadets that need to take the recruit training and the league orientation training. Same advice I would say here too as well. I would go ahead and take an advanced training until we see the recruit training start to come out. Because again, I haven't seen anything yet. So it could, and hopefully it won't be. The last we had heard is that they are working on it and they will be posting the recruit trainings.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I would recommend something different than that.
Okay.
Training, remember in normal times, back in normal times, before you could do any advanced training whatsoever, you had to go to boot camp, right? You just have to. So I didn't recall them saying you could do a virtual training without going to recruit training, but they are offering recruit training.
Right.
Okay, so this area, which is a little fuzzy, that's why we're openly talking about it, is still slightly ill-defined. But they are going to be doing a recruit training. So this is all for our new joiners, which will be a virtual thing. Personally, I would hold off for that until it's defined. And they said that they were going to be doing it shortly. What I wouldn't want you to do is that you take one of those advanced trainings, right? And you get totally burned out and you never do recruit training at all. And then that's not good for your time in the Sea Cadet Corps.
Yep, that absolutely makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, you know, it's not that, for everybody, it's not that we're debating what the right thing to do is. That when Lieutenant Murray and I were in this webinar, in many respects, it seems like they're still trying to figure it out as we go along, which is fine. That's the normal course of operation in the military. Let's figure it out as we go. So some of these things we're talking about may end up changing, and don't let that throw you. It's just the nature of the beast right now.
Yeah, nope, absolutely. So with that said, there will be, and just to talk about it a little bit, once it does come out and we do have additional information, I will definitely be sending it out to all of the cadets. So for right now, what they were talking about is that this will happen, the recruit training piece will happen in 2 phases. So for recruit training, there'll be a phase 1. They will be posted on Homeport and on their training site hopefully soon. Again, it'll be virtual in nature, very similar to the advanced trainings that are out. And then there'll be a phase 2. So the phase 2, they are talking about it being a 5-day kind of local day camp style training. So there will be travel restrictions. So cadets can't take plane, bus, train. So it's something that they will need to drive back and forth to on a daily basis. And again, based off our call, they're talking about different local units getting together to be able to provide this day camp style training for new recruits that need to take recruit training. And again, as I have in parentheses here, that would happen sometime in late August. For our league, we have quite a few league cadets. So for our league cadets, they are providing a league orientation, very similar to the recruit training, but for obviously league cadets. Phase 1 is the virtual training. Again, that should be posted to Magellan soon. And phase 2 is, for them, it's a 2 or 3 day. I don't think they've determined that yet. So it's either a 2 to 3 day local day camp style training. Again, they're looking to do the same thing, and that would come sometime in late August. Yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, we do have another question about training. I don't know what this is in the Everfi, E-V-E-R-F-I website. There are more courses.
I didn't hear the last piece.
Are we supposed to do those? The Everfi website has more courses. EVERFI.
Yes, so the Everfi is the online digital and wellness online course that I talked about in the previous slide. That's a prerequisite that has to be taken. In the instructions, after you register, there's only one course you need to take. You do not need to take any of those other courses. So it's just the one course. And once you've taken that course, you print out that certificate and then you send it. I mean, if you want to take another course and you're able to, you could. I have not looked at those other courses, but the prerequisite and the requirement and my suggestion is only to take that one course.
Right. The official online courses are the ones that Lieutenant Murray is talking about. Everfi is a service and a lot of schools subscribe to it. Okay. And they're giving us, the Sea Cadet Corps, access to that safety seminar for free, which is really nice of them, right? But they also offer other things. Those aren't the ones which will count for your Sea Cadet training. You need to use the ones we were just talking about. So that's a great question, right? Because it's an online training and you think you're off and doing the right thing. It doesn't hurt you to learn more things, but it's not going to get you the Sea Cadet credit that you thought you were achieving.
Yeah, and I'll just mention it again, really take a look at my summer training, virtual training instructions. That really does give you step-by-step of exactly what you need to do and what links you need to go to again, like the CO said, get credit for an advanced training, a recruit training, or POLA online virtual course. Lieutenant Rutherford, is there any other questions that had come up in regards to training?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you. The last thing I have from an administrative standpoint is, we are continuing to look at report cards. About a month late, but report cards are due. So if you could download and email your report card, your most recent report card, to my email address, and I have a due date of this Friday. So if you guys can do that and email that to me, that would be fantastic. I will print those out, mark them in Magellan, assign appropriate awards and ribbons, and finish that out. CO, back to you.
Great. Thank you, Lieutenant Murray. Really appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot to know with this. So the only question that you shouldn't be asking is, well, none. So if you've read through the material that Lieutenant Murray sent you, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out. This is new. It's something that we've never done before. Hopefully we'll never have to do it again. But it is a new process. So stay tuned. Things might change, but definitely get yourself involved with this because this is how we're running it this year. Okay. So with that, Ensign Diana, can you take over, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, so there's a couple things I want to go over. One is coursework. There's been some cadets that have really stepped up and they're doing a great job in their coursework, but the majority of the cadets, we're not getting any coursework done. So I want to really see, everybody put in an effort. In the next week or so, I'm going to be checking up and seeing who's doing their coursework. Excuse me, doing their coursework, and I'm going to be following up with emails. I expect the coursework to be done. You have plenty of time to work on this stuff. I mean, everybody's pretty much locked in at home, so there's no reason we shouldn't be getting out ahead of it. Promotion exam. So once your coursework's done, there's no reason that you can't take the exams, whether it's PO3, PO2, as long as you meet the criteria and you've completed your coursework, you can go ahead and take the exams. Currently, we should take advantage of the fact that your parents can proctor the exam. So I've already had some cadets do it, but again, that it's been very limited. There's a lot more people that should be doing it. So let's get that done. I have the link there. If anybody has any questions, just reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to help their parents out with how to proctor it. And then I usually set the exam up about an hour ahead of time and then we get it going. PRTs, that's we really slacking off. everybody should be doing their PRTs at home with their parents. I would suggest that you go to the Homeport website and scroll down in the May 1st timeframe. There's a video for your parents to watch on how to give the PRT, and also the form on what to fill out and what you should be completing for those PRTs. By the end of this month, I expect everybody that's due a PRT to have completed it. So you've had plenty of time between now and the last time we spoke to work on PRTs. I'm going to read off the cadets that have met their obligation for PRT. So if I don't read your name, you can assume that you have not done yours. So Bonchek, Choi, Diana, Ferguson, Desari, Kincaid, Mars, Pell, and Pell, both Pells, Devin and Ronan, Wu, and Yagnik. Those cadets have completed their PRT. So if you didn't hear your name, I expect to hear from you before the 30th of this month with a completed PRT. Another thing I want to talk about is the squads. I know that there was some.
And so Diana?
Yes.
So before you move on off of PRT, we have a couple of questions here. Coursework, are seniors required to do coursework?
They're not required to now.
Well, let me
But it affects our standing if you don't. So you should be doing the coursework.
okay, well, let me put some clarity around that, which is fine. And yes, we are talking about the score, but every cadet is supposed to do one correspondence course per term. Okay, so that's usually not a problem. Where it ends up being a problem is that, say, a cadet has already completed their chief's correspondence course. It's like, well, what else is there for me to do? There are a few others for you to accomplish. So if you have not completed a correspondence course throughout the entire term, starting from September to now, you are behind the curve, even if you are a graduating senior, right? Because that would be your legacy. When you leave the division and you get your honorable discharge, next year's annual inspection will say, somebody missed a correspondence course. Don't be that cadet, right? And if you've already completed all those, the other ones are really easy. They're really simple. So look after the division, make sure that you've done one. It might be worth our while, Ensign Diana, to get that paperwork again to see who has not, right? And just cross-check to make sure we're in sync.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
And another question came up. Apparently, some cadets may have taken the PRT in April but didn't hear their name. Do they have to take it again?
So that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll get with Lieutenant Murray and I'll get that squared away. There were a couple I know that she received. I don't have them yet. So
Okay.
I'll send out an email before this week's out to everybody who still needs to take it. So just give me a day or two to get that set up, and then I'll give out a firm list of who has to take it by the end of the month.
Okay, and then I guess you'll let them all know, but it sounds like this is kind of associated with it. Graduating seniors don't need to do PRT since they're not going on trainings, correct?
I believe that's correct. Yes, CO, correct if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct. They do not, graduating seniors don't have to take
not.
PRT.
Do
We
not.
won't be dinged for it.
But if our graduating seniors are moving on to some sort of academy or NROC, they should be training anyway.
You're gonna practice.
So get on it, because you're going to have a rude awakening when you start.
Not forging it.
Who's not on mute?
Jason. Not on.
Okay, so we're good now?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so the last part is, I know we've been standing down for the last couple months, but there's no reason that the squad shouldn't be doing something amongst themselves. Now, I know there was some talk in March of the squads doing some competition using Kahoot or something similar. So, there's still some time left before June. So we need to get the squads together. Each squad should be doing something with their squad and getting back to me on what that is, just to keep that, association and keeping everybody talking within the squad. So just let me know what you're going to do. It doesn't take long to set up a Kahoot. If you don't know how to do it, let me know. I'll show you how to do it. It's just a series of questions and answers, and it's actually kind of fun to do. So that's all I have, CO.
Okay, great. Thank you. And just as Ensign Diana just said, look, if you need to stay engaged with the program. So a lot of the things that he's been reading out are opportunities of normal drill activities that you should be doing, right? If you're not doing it, you're not helping out the division and you're not helping out yourself. So I know it's hard. We're all stuck indoors. I get that, right? But you still have obligations in order to be part of the program. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping the division. So get yourself re-engaged, right? Make sure you're part of it. XO?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we talked about cadet staff. First of all, thank you everyone who applied for position. We had more applications than we had positions, as is always the case, and it's always nice to see that people are interested and willing to take on leadership roles in the unit. So thank you all. So unfortunately, like I said, we had more applications than we had positions. So those of you who did not get a position this year, that does not mean that you can't be a leader within the organization. It just means that this year you won't have a leadership position. So don't ever think that you can't continue being a solid participant and a solid leader within the organization. So because of extenuating circumstances and the fact that so many of us are online all day long, we did, for logistical reasons, we decided that we weren't going to do interviews. So what we did instead is that we took a look at who had positions last year. We looked at things like coursework completed, promotion exams completed, the grades that were given or received on those coursework and promotion exams. We talked amongst ourselves as officers, and the chiefs gave their input as well on attitude, military bearing. We looked at attendance, the esprit de corps, participation, and so forth and so on. And again, as I said, we shared it with the officers, including the the supply instructors, because they see a lot as well. Instructors, Bashin and McDonald, they see you from a different perspective when you come in for supplies and such, and uniforms. So with all that in mind, we went ahead and put the positions in place. And so we'll go ahead and start with the chiefs. If you would, sir. So division chief will be Chief Murray, and ops chief will be Chief Select Diana. Petty Officer First Class is of time and grade before he can make chief, so he will be our operations chief going forward. Sir? So LPO and ALPO, Petty Officer Second Class Ferguson will be leading our division. Congratulations. And Petty Officer Third Class Capone will be our ALPO. Sir?
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. So maybe closer to your computer, that'd be great.
All right, so the squad leaders, Alpha, Petty Officer Third Class Post M, Max. Bravo, as you see there, Bonchik. Charlie will be Pell D, and Delta will be DeCesar. How am I sounding? I'm sounding okay?
Much better.
Okay. I don't need to put on my headset then. Okay, go ahead, sir. Their assistants will be for Alpha, Martin T, Bravo, Delugach. Charlie will be Hers. Okay.
Okay.
Continue, sir. And then the final group, the MAA will be Seaman Callahan, Color Guard Captain Choi, Guide On will be Barcy, and I CAO will be Bedard. So if anyone has any concerns that they are not able to handle these positions they've been put in, please let me know. And, you're not sure you can handle one, but talk to me first before we move anyone. So if you look at the next slide, you'll see this is what we look like now. I hope you can see it. So Ferguson and Capone will be leading the unit. The squad leaders, assistant squad leaders, and so forth. So again, those of you who applied but don't see yourself up here, that does not mean that you're not capable. It does not mean that you're not, able to handle the position. Just we had applications position again, and the Chiefs. We had that's
Yeah, XO, it's very hard to hear you. You're still picking up.
Am I? I'm sorry. I was just saying, don't think you can't be a solid participant, and don't think that you can't continue an actual title of a leadership position. So I hope you were able to hear me. I'm sorry if I was breaking up. All right, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, very well. So let's roll this up into a summary, okay?
Actually, I'm sorry, sir. One more thing, if I may. I'm sorry, I forgot about this. When Ensign Diana was talking about coursework, one of the things I did just want to mention as well is that there are some of you may not haven't had a course in 13, 14, 15 months. So, think about that when you're looking for positions, when you're looking for promotions, when you're looking for things that doing one course every 16, 17 months is not really the way you want to do things. So if you haven't taken a course in a while, get on it, please. Thank you.
Okay. So XO, yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, but I think the sentiment comes through loud and clear is that if you're not active with the program, if you're not, fulfilling your obligations in regards to coursework and training and things like that, right? Are you actually getting out of the program what you can be getting out of it? And at the same time, are you demonstrating the leadership that we're looking for to continue to move our division forward into the future? So think about that. Get involved if you're not. And, again, what this first bullet says, the program is still active, right? But it's up to you as individual members of our division, right, is to be involved. And as Ensign Diana was talking about, what the XO was just talking about, this quarantine period, and we're doing things differently now because this is the mandate, is different, but your responsibilities are the same. If you're a squad leader, you're still a squad leader, right? You still have people that are looking to you for leadership. We have new members who are in squads who may not be having touch points with their cadet leadership. Think about that, right? Think about how you would feel if that was the case for you. So it's not all doom and gloom, and I don't mean to bring it to that, but I want to kind of shake a few of you to say, the program is still active. Get back involved, right? And if you are involved, bravo. Leadership steps up when situations change. And for those who have maintained that sense of leadership and involvement, good for you, because I know it's hard. There's lots of bad things going on nowadays in regards to the pandemic. And, it's forced a lot of us to, interact in ways and perform functions that we haven't had to do before. But that's where leadership steps up, right? So make sure you're involved. Okay, online courses that we're talking about for recruit and annual trainings, these are temporary solutions, right? They are really only going to be active, right, during this period. So one of the questions that came up in that webinar that Lieutenant Murray and I were in was, moving forward, will these things be available? And the answer we received is no. These are temporary because of the situation. Really, the crown jewel of our program is when you are all out during summer trainings, right? Going to recruit training, going to league orientation, doing those advanced trainings when you're hands-on with experts in a variety of different fields, right? That's where the fun is. That's where you're making memories. You're not making those memories and necessarily having those fun situations when you're doing a correspondence course online, right? That's not what the program's about. But it's temporary for now. So get through it because we're in an odd situation and get the most out of it. But rest assured, we're going to be back guns blazing, right, when this all lifts up. So for our incoming staff cadets, incoming staff cadets, be ready to jump in, right, and be involved. For those who are currently in those positions, you are in those positions, right, until June. So reach out to the ones who have just been identified to take those new leadership slots, right? Talk to them, give them some guidance. This is a great time for you to mentor and train your replacements, right? Because that, again, is part of your legacy. Did you leave the division better than when you found it, right? And that's really, really important. So keep that up, all right? And then finally, for our graduates, no, we have not forgotten about you. There's a plan, right? We're working on it, and we're going to try to make it as meaningful as possible. But you are important to us as well. You have done tremendous, great things as part of the program, and it deserves to be recognized. So we haven't forgotten about you. Your shipmates haven't forgotten about you, and we will come up with something worthy, based upon our current situation, worthy of your appreciation because we appreciate you. Okay, so those are the items that we wanted to discuss today.